Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivikas Swaminiti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktarinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So yesterday we were discussing Vaishnava Pramanas and the evidences to ascertain the absolute truth, to know God. And we heard that basically three principal Pramanas are accepted: Pratyaksha, Anuman and Shabda. And then we discussed also Vaidusha Pratyaksha, or divine revelation, the seeing Lord by the transcendental senses, which is called Vaidusha Pratyaksha. And this is accepted as a Gaudiya Vaishnava as the topmost Pramana. It's based on Shabda, of course. Shabda revealed the path. Sambandha Abhideya Prayojana is revealed in the Vedas. Who am I? Who is God? What is our relationship? How to act in the relationship? What is the goal of that relationship? And when the Rishi, a devotee, when he becomes self-realized, he, in transcendental senses, he can see the Lord face to face. And particularly Vedic Rishis were famous for that. Famous for that means that they have, their realization is that they hear Vedic mantras in the ether. They can hear them. Vedas are eternal. Vedo Narayana Sakshat. They're coming from breathing of Lord Narayana. They are eternal. They were never created, just the Lord is never created. But the rishis, when they are pure, in their meditation they can hear particular portion of the Vedas. So in this sense, the Vaidusha Pratyaksha is even the Mula Tvach, Jiva Goswami said, there is a shloka. And he says that Tatra Vaidushe no Vipratipati Brahmadi Nridosha Rahyat Shabdasyapitan Mulatvaj. That there is no disagreement about perception of the wise, of the rishis, because these perceptions are devoid of four human weaknesses, that four mistakes we were discussing yesterday: Brahma, Vipralipsa, Karna, Patav, Pramada. Moreover, the perception of wise are the basis of even verbal testimony. They are basis even of Shabda Pramana. How is that? Because when the rishis they sit in meditation, by their pure transcendental senses, Lord reveals certain portion of Vedas to them. And then they chant it, and then they explain it, and then they teach to others. So if through Guru Parampara this transcendental Vedic sound comes to us, you will see today if we come to the portion where we discuss how Vedas are actually descending from the Supreme Lord and how it's expanded by the rishis. So this is somehow or other yesterday we did not cover this slide, the last slide. Okay, so this is about this Vaidusha Pratyaksha. Now today we are going to discuss Anuman Praman. Anuman is inference, knowing after, Anumana. Anumana, knowing after, reconsidering, rethinking something, trying to understand, reason, logic. Definition is like this: the mind's attempt to know what is beyond the reach of sense perception. All of us we do, all the time. We are trying to reason, we are trying to think, understand. When we see something or we perceive something, we want to understand what is behind it. You know? Anything in everyday life, all the time we are doing that. You know, based on repeated, generalized experience or authoritative verbal testimony, one arrives at some probable general principle called vyapti. So now, in logic, what do we use? Some general principle which is known to us, we apply, so we expect that something will happen in the future. For example, every Sunday, market is closed. So we expect next Sunday also market will be closed. For example, as simple as that. anything, any general principle. Because general principle is the Sunday, it's a holiday. So nobody works. No. So the market will be closed. And then for sure, we know, by experience we know. So this generalized principle is called vyapti. No. And the third point is the instrument of knowing that recognizes an unperceived fact on the basis of its being known to accompany another fact, it is perceived. So, point is, we'll discuss a famous example where there is a smoke, there is a fire. So you know that smoke is always accompanied by the phenomena of fire. Hardly you find smoke without fire, that's unlikely. So based on this, we can conclude, we can understand something. And we see smoke, oh, there is a fire, like that. So these are the definitions. And the visions are there, that logic or anuman, inference, can be for oneself and can be for others. I remember first time I served in the temple kitchen, cook told me, just check whether enough water in the rice. So, I just first time in the kitchen, there was a big pot of rice. I lift the lid and all steam came on my fingers, burned my, just really steam up my fingers, idli fingers. And the cook say, come on, common sense, no, just use your common sense, logic, that I'm boiling rice, definitely steam will come out. Well, that was logic for you who have previous experience, but was not for me who am first time there, it's, you see, for example, I didn't have previous experience of it, didn't have previous knowledge. I could think, but it was too far to fetch at that particular moment. No? But then we learn things. Every morning, sun rises up. So surely tomorrow morning, when shall we meet? After sunrise. How do you know sun will rise? It rises every morning. We have general principle and we have this phenomena, we accept it. No. Okay, so the logic can be for oneself and can be for others also, that we commonly understand, Something happened and we say, come on, common sense, you could do like this, you could do like this. So we all agree, yes, we could do like this. So that is for others also. There is a personal experience and there is also, which is common for others. Now, Prabhupada says, don't follow blindly. Following blindly something, that is not good. That will not stay. But one should take everything with logic. But the servants of God, they put everything in logic. And he quotes, Chaitanyara daya, dayara katha, karaha vichar. That if you study the Chaitanya's philosophy with logic and argument, surely you will be convinced to follow it. You will be captivated, you will be attracted, you will be convinced that yes, this is the proper path. So we are not like just believe. In some religions prefer like that. Don't ask questions, just believe. But no, Prabhupada says, no, don't follow blindly. Why? Because one will last. If any doubt comes, any difficulty comes, you won't be able to explain to yourself, why is this happening to me? Yesterday there was a title in the Yahoo News that something happened. Somebody put court case on somebody in USA. And man who is known Christian, he said, I'm angry at God. Because it's not my fault, they're putting, false accusation. And big title, that Mr. Such and Such, angry at God. You see, this is called blind follower. We know. Tenukampam susumikshamano bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam. If any mess happened, evatma kritam. I did it. Maybe not this life, previous life. But they don't believe in previous lives. You see, lack of philosophy, lack of knowledge, blind follower. And then faith is shaken just like that. Little difficulty came. I'm angry at God. Who you think? What's salyarasa? You're getting angry at God. It doesn't work like that, Watch out, God may get angry at you, It doesn't, you see, ignorance, it doesn't help us. So Prabhupada say, you see how much Prabhupada argued, how many examples he gave, how much he tried to convince us. You can see his presentation, his books, in his lectures. It makes sense. What he says, it makes sense. I remember first time reading this, Life Comes from Life. We are all brainwashed in school that science is the scientists, these are the rishis, and whatever they write, this is the Veda, and we have to accept without questioning, So then Prabhupada started blasting, rascals, cheaters. Wow, strong words he's using. But then when he explains, then it convinces you, Then you say, he's right. Then again, rascal. Ooh, why he's calling rascals? But at the end of book, it's convincing. And then at the end of the book I say, rascals, scientists, because it's true. It's convincing. It's not just accept and believe, don't think. Well, how we are not about to think? We have intelligence. Bhagavan is giving intelligence. We have to think, we have to reason. We can't follow blindly. Of course, it won't be bad to follow blindly good authority and really follow him. But good authority is telling, don't follow blindly. You see that? He is saying, don't follow blindly. Try to understand. Once you understand, then you will be strong. Because difficulties will come, challenges will come. We have to simply understand what we are doing. We have to be conscious of our endeavor to understand God. And it's a big thing. What are you trying to do in life? I'm trying to open some business. Okay. What are you trying to do? Oh, I'm trying to educate my children. What are you trying to do? I'm trying to catch lotus feet of the Lord. This is a difficult task. It's not easy. It's very difficult. It's complete endeavor. It's 100% endeavor required. Full endeavor, full attempt. And then, of course, we know it's not possible by our endeavor. Huh? It's a big thing. So we have to apply logic, we have to apply reason, we have to apply everything. Manasa, Vacha, Vapu. All three, body, mind, words, we have to engage in the service of the Lord. Then only revelation possible. Prakashanti Mahatmana, Lord will reveal himself. So here, logical inference, knowing after. Structure is like this. In logical presentation, logical argument, you may say, first thing we propose something. Pratigya, claim to be proven. Prabhuji, there is fire on that mountain. Oh, then I'm looking. Oh, surprise. Why there is a fire? No, I've seen the smoke. You give a head to reason, the observed fact. That the reason is there is a smoke. Okay, there is a smoke. What does it mean? It means general principle we know. Wherever there is a smoke, there is a fire. And to make it strong, Udaharana I am giving. I give you an example. Just like in the kitchen. Actually, if you see Nyaya Shastra, what they say? Positive and negative example. Just like in the kitchen is fire and not in the lake. In the water, fire won't be there. In the kitchen, fire will be there. Where fire food is burning, So they give Udaharana, positive and negative also. And then, Upanayana, application, confirmation of reason. Indeed, there is a smoke on the mountain. So the conclusion, Nigamana, therefore there is fire on the mountain. So if you preach like this, if you present your argument like this, it's very strong. Because you already given the reasons why it is so. You say something, but you've given the reason, explanation, example, and then it's convincing. It's very much convincing. So this is the basic structure of Anuman. Now you will see one Prabhupada is preaching to somebody. This is from Conversations. I think this is from Conversation. Let me see. Oh, this is on lecture. Okay. Gita lecture. Prabhupada speaks. Ordinarily, when we give up these bodies, we quit this body. We have to accept another body. Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya. We have discussed this point, that we, living entities, our life is going on simply by changing dresses from one body to another. Transmigration of the soul according to our work. So this body is dress. Therefore, I have got an actual body. Just like at the present moment we think, this material body is my actual body and there is a dress, shirt and coat. The shirt and coat is superficial to this actual body. But here in Bhagavad Gita you will find that we have got our real spiritual body, separate from the material covering. And as we give up all garments, all dresses, and take up another, new dresses, another new garment, similarly we give up this body, material body, when it's old enough, when it cannot be used, or then we give it up. And we take another body. And this change of body is going on every moment and every second. So you see, this is preaching. Prabhupada gives proposal. No? you can see, if you analyze, it's not that Prabhupada thinks consciously, I will follow these 5, but they are simply there in the preaching, Proposition, Prabhupada said, we are changing bodies. This is something new. He's preaching in the West. People do not know. What is proposal? We are changing the bodies. What is the reason? Because body is the dress of the soul. We are not the body. We are different from the body. He given general principle. The dress is superficial to the body. Example, we give all garments, all dress, and take another dress. No? Application, we give up this body, when body is old, and take a new body. Conclusion, we are changing bodies. And this change is going on every moment and every second. Look right in the text, you can see all these 5, one after another. See that? And it's not consciously, okay, now, hetu, now, pratigya, now I have to do this. It just goes on spontaneously flowing, powerful presentation, convincing. And we are convinced, look at us, we shaved our hair because Prabhupada speaks powerfully. Logic is like this, if you have these 5 elements, very powerful, strong presentation. So you can see here, right in the text. Proposition, we are changing bodies. We create this body, we have to accept another body. And he quotes the shloka from Gita, which is even more powerful in preaching. Reason, because body is dress of the soul. We are not this body. Here, the body is a dress. General principle, dress is superficial to body. Coat is superficial to this actually body. Okay? Example, as we give up all garments, all dress, take up another new dress, another new garment we accept. And then, application. Similarly, we give up this body when it's old and cannot be used. And what is conclusion? We are changing bodies. And this change of body is going on every moment and every second. You see this? Right in the middle of Prabhupada lectures, you can see all 5 elements of Anuman, of a logic. Now, limits are there also in logic. Yesterday we discussed a little bit. That logic could be affected with 4 defects. Could be that you misunderstand something, so you think, I don't know. One day you come to temple and you see that we are serving brown rice. So you may see, in ISKCON Salam, only brown rice. But you came for one day only. There is brown rice and white rice and yellow rice and pink rice and all kinds of rices. But you see, this is the problem. You may mistake something, or you may just completely mistake something based on pratyaksha. You may mistake something and draw wrong conclusion. And that is a problem. Vyapti, that general principle is always uncertain, because it's based on accumulation of enough experience. For example, I said that example that every Sunday, market is closed, so we expect another Sunday. But if you go to Dubai, they are closed at Friday. My logic won't work there. Dubai Muslim countries, they follow Friday is a holiday and Sunday is working day. So you see, what is the problem? You have to have enough experience that Vyapti is strong. Vyapti is always uncertain. There is a problem. There is a problem in the logic. And logical conjecture is never conclusive. That you may understand that, okay, daily we are getting prasadam, so someone is cooking. But looking at prasadam, I can't understand who is exactly cooking. Is it congregation? Is it brahmachari? You can't get it. It's not conclusive, Does not give valid knowledge about Abhideya. And by logic, how to worship Lord. You can't just speculate about it. You have to ask authority how to do it. You can go on speculating for 10,000 years. You're not going to figure out how to please the Lord on your own. You may, but you may miss. No? So it's difficult. It's difficult by logic to reach something which is beyond sense perception, beyond mind perception, beyond intelligence, higher than intelligence. It's difficult to know God simply by logic. So there are limits. Prabhupada says, the common man cannot argue about what is beyond the sky or beyond the universe. He must accept the versions of the Vedas as they are understood by authorized disciplic succession. See, this is simply the truth. What is the use of our speculation? No? We do not know. Simply we do not know. What is beyond the universe? What is inside of the universe? We don't know what to speak about what is beyond the universe. No? Say, how many of us doctors here? Nobody. Good. One doctor, dentist is here. Okay. So dentist, how much you know about cancer? A little bit. Okay. But look how many of us are here. Let us discuss how to cure cancer. You start discussion. We are going to blubber for hours and hours and hours, and we may hit a good point. But unlikely that ISKCON Salem congregation in the 45 minutes is going to find the medicine for cancer. Simply we do not know. We do not know. We are not authorities in that field. Particularly when we discuss something which is beyond our sense perception, which is distance from time, which is distance from space, which is distance from perception altogether, is transcendental. How we are going to discuss? There is no other way than accept authority. Simply impossible. There is no way of reaching anything by speculation. So, validity, when none of its constitutes is defective. So, this is very important. In these 5 stages where we have this proposition and reason and general principle, an example, an application and conclusion, all of this, they must be valid. If one of them is wrong, then everything falls into the water. Okay, in this one is simply, where is the smoke, there is a fire. That's good, But if you say that, who is this? Oh, this man is a cook. Oh, this man is a cook. So all men are cook, just like this man. But this is wrong premises. Why all men are a cook? Oh no, because this man is cook, must be all men are cook, and women are not cooks. But you have example, women are cook and men is not cook. So you see, you can't apply simply structure of the logic on everything. It doesn't work. No, you can't just follow the scheme. It's not just a formula you put inside and it works for everything. It doesn't work for everything. No, to a certain hetu and to a certain vyapti, this is a problem. The reason, hetu, can be false also. And then you will see, there is a Jayatirtha's work in disciplic succession of Madhvacharya. He goes on explaining, and all other, in Karma Mimamsa, Nyaya Sutras also. So much they explain what is the proper reason, what is the proper general principle, when is applicable, when is not applicable. Is there any experience that there is a smoke without fire? Unlikely. We so far never seen. Nowadays we have these cold eyes making smoke on the stage, for the, Again, fire is there, some heat is produced, So again, unlikely, that we have smoke without fire. They discuss, but there is a fire without smoke. Correct? That is also there. That when nice fire is burning dry wood, hardly there is any smoke. Or you may say clearly, there is no smoke. Correct? Or fire of digestion. There is no smoke. Maybe Mahaprabhu smoking a little bit, belching a little bit here and there. But there is no smoke, no? So we see fire exists. So they all go on discussing what is the proper reason, what is the proper general principle, what is not. You know how much they discuss. There's volumes and volumes of books to properly understand, to have proper reason, valid reason, not false reasoning. Because you conclude something wrongly, everything collapses. It doesn't work. Second, we can understand unperceived by usage of vyapti. So you can understand by logic. Just like you cannot see by pratyaksha, mind, intelligence, desire. No? Fellow came to temple and coming out and looking at these buckets. And he's not saying anything, but he's looking at the buckets. Then he's going up and going down, but again standing next to buckets. He wants some prasadam, it's obvious. It's a simple conclusion. So you can understand unperceivable by usage of vyapti. By this general principle you can use. Like this, we had this fire. You can understand. I don't see the fire on the mountain, but I see the smoke. 100% there is a fire. But uncertainty is always there. No more fire. We just extinguish the fire. Still little smoke is coming. You see that? There's millions of options. So logic is, Vedanta Sutra says, same like Mahabharata. Mahabharata says Tarko Pratishta, and Vedanta Sutra says Tarko Pratishtanat. Same. It's inconclusive. There is always risk. 3. When applied to properly understand Vedic injunction. So, logic is good if your conclusion is what Veda says. If you use powerful logic, like some atheists, to defeat the Vedas, then this is not proper logic. This is misuse, or then it's not valid. Then it's disturbance. Like atheists, they say, if God is there, He will not allow the war. If God is good, He will not allow killing and suffering. So therefore there is no God. But that is a false logic. That is a wrong logic. Why? Because it doesn't give a Vedic conclusion that God is there. And then doesn't explain the reasons why there is suffering. God is not there. Then how do you explain creation? Then how do you explain existence? Then how do you explain causes and effect? And then you see, false logic. Then when supports Vedic conclusion, otherwise should be rejected. So it's not that every time we accept the logic as valid. No, if it's giving conclusion that God is there and the process is there, then we accept. Here, Prabhupada says, for example, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the taste of water. Now philosophical speculation, in the accepted sense, then means to try to understand, under the direction of Shastra and Guru, how Krishna is the taste of water. Now you see this philosophical speculation, reasoning, logic, anuman, is allowed. Krishna says, I am taste of water. Now we discuss how Krishna is taste of water. This philosophical speculation is allowed. But if you say, whether Krishna is taste of water or not, that is not allowed. That is atheistic. That is wrong. You can't challenge Vedic statement. Gita says, Krishna says, Bhagavan says, I am taste of water. Rasoham apsukant. I am the taste of water. Now we can speculate and use anuman and logic how Krishna is taste of water. But you can't challenge this. Now we'll speculate whether Krishna is taste of water or not. That won't lead us anywhere. That is a false logic. Okay, here. Kunti Maharani. That Krishna, being beyond the range of limited sense perception, you are eternally irreproachable factor, covered by curtain of deluding energy. So Kunti Maharani appeals here that you can't see Lord by sense perception. Okay? Then, anything transcendental to material nature is called inconceivable, whereas arguments are all mundane. Since mundane arguments cannot touch transcendental subject matters, one should not try to understand transcendental subject through mundane arguments. Mahabharata Bhishma Parma. So he said previous shloka, Pratyaksha cannot reach him, Anuman cannot reach him. Correct? So then why we are still accepting Pratyaksha and Anuman as a pramana? Correct? Why we are still accepting them? How they are valid? How they will give us valid knowledge? Here, Atmano Guru Atmaiva Purushasya Visheshataha Yat Pratyaksha Anumanabhyam Shreyo Sav Anuvindate. An intelligent person, expert in perceiving the world around him, Pratyaksha. From Pratyaksha is getting knowledge, perceiving the world, and applying sound logic, can achieve real benefit through his own intelligence. Thus sometimes one acts as was one's own instructing spiritual master. How? Because we perceive the world. We learn, hey, something wrong here. Something is wrong here. Why I cannot be happy? Why I'm not getting this satisfaction? Why I'm imposed some pleasure and pains on me? Why is this? Why I'm born in this family? By perception and anuman, you understand the nature of this world. See this. Prabhupada says, for example, one should try to understand the distress of accepting birth, death, old age and disease. No? Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanu darshanam. Gita says, Prabhupada quotes just Gita, just translates from Gita, no? One should see that these are the problems in life. Old age, nobody wants it. Disease, nobody wants it. Death, nobody wants it. Birth, nobody asks you want to take birth or not. Simply you are born. No? Unless we have pessimistic view of this material life, considering the distresses of birth, death, old age and disease, there is no impetus for our making advancement in spiritual life. You see? So this much we can perceive by Pratyakša and Anuman. We can set our mind, oh, something wrong, something wrong, something wrong. We have no solution, but we will meet devotees. Here, Srila Jiva Goswami explains that the knowledge acquired by one's own perception and intelligence leads one to appreciate the value of representative of Lord Krishna. Then devotee comes and says, this material world is suffering. And you say, yes, I've seen, I realize it, yes. And it's bad, it's bad. And so much tension and pressure and death and old age disease, yes, I was also thinking. But I have no solution. What do I do? Chant Hare Krishna, surrender to Krishna, there is God. You see, this is the link. That good Pratyaksha, good Hanuman, based on the Shastra, will lead you to realization that something is wrong here. And then when you meet devotee, you appreciate, oh yes, these people are right. I also, so much suffering in college, so much I try. I went to this group, this temple, that temple, nothing worked for me. Then, devotee comes and gives the guidance. We appreciate, oh yes, these are good people. This is what I wanted. I was looking for that, I didn't know what I'm looking for. That once this famous Paul McCartney, one of the singers of Beatles, famous, he said, at one moment we lost our spiritual identity. Not that we ever had it, but we lost it. So he's right, same point. He knew something we are missing, but we didn't know what. And we never had it, but we are missing it. So he was honest in that. It was a good point. Okay, so here, Lord Chaitanya says that how Jiva can come out from this material world. The conditioned soul cannot revive his Krishna consciousness by his own efforts. But out of causeless mercy, Lord Krishna compiled the Vedic literature and it supplements the Puranas. Now see, this is introduction to Shabda, Shruti, Shabda Brahman, transcendental sound vibration, the third pramana we are going to discuss. And Lord gives guidance in 3 ways. Shastra Guru Atma Rupe Apanare Janana Krishnamora Prabhutrata Jivara Hoya. The forgetful conditioned soul is educated by Krishna through Vedic literatures, spiritual master and super soul. These 3 are guides to the soul. Through this, he can understand Supreme Personality of Godhead as he is, and he can understand that Lord Krishna is his eternal master and deliverer from the clutches of Maya. In this way, one can acquire real knowledge on his conditioned life and can come to understand how to attain liberation. So this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Therefore we say, ultimately, the main pramana, the most important evidence of God's existence and knowledge about Sambandha, Abhidaya, Prayojana is the Shabda pramana, transcendental sound vibration of the Vedas. So here, Prabhupada says, from newspapers and radio, we also understand that such and such events are taking place in China and India and other places all around the earth. We are not experiencing these events directly, and we do not know that such events are actually taking place, but we accept the authority of the newspapers and radio. We have no choice but to believe authorities in order to get knowledge. And when the authority is perfect, our knowledge is perfect. Now you see, hearing transcendental sound vibration, the main point is whether authority is proper or not. Correct? Now, when you are sick, you go to doctor, you don't go to the mechanic. No? Because he's not authority in the field. You know, he will know. We go to some city and say, okay, let's ask some locals. We'll not ask people in the train, in the bus. We'll ask locals, local who walk around. Hey, where is that street? Oh, just here, behind the corner. So, you see, we have to ascertain who is proper authority. This is the problem. No? So here, hearing from newspapers and radio is Shabda Pramana. We hear the authority and we accept. Okay, on TV, Modi announced, from tomorrow, 500 rupee note, 1,000 rupee note, not valid anymore. And we accept it. No? Nobody slept that night. It was accepted. From the TV, no? I don't believe. Let Modi come and tell me personally. No, it doesn't work like this, no? We accept it. But this is Shabda Pramana, but this is called Mandai Shabda. Shabda Pramana, but Paurusheya. Because material matters and authorities in material subject matters, they may do mistakes. They may simply tell us something wrong. And it's happening. No? So we have two types of Shabda. Paurusheya, fallible, which could be influenced by 4 mistakes. And Apaurusheya Shabda. Here, Prabhupada speaks. Who is my father? That evidence is to hear from my mother. That's all. There is no other evidence. The mother says that this is your father, he is your father. This is Shruti, hearing from other authority. So, and we have no other authority to understand the father. So Prabhupada gives, again, analogy that we can understand. Mother is not the guru. Mother doesn't know anything about God. But she is authority in who is the father. So this is Paurusheya Shabda, mundane authority. Okay, but I'm not going to ask mother, who is God, how to surrender. She may say, there is no God, don't surrender. Okay, so now, similarly, we have to understand our Supreme Father from the Shruti, mother, Vedas. Vedas are called mother. Mother, Vedic mother. We have to say Vedas as mother, Shruti. The Vedas are considered as mother and Puranas are considered as sister. This is explained. So Shruti Pramana, Prabhupada says. So to know God, you hear from mother. Vedas are considered mother. No? So this is Apaurusheya Shabda. What is Apaurusheya Shabda? Here it is explained that Apaurusheya and Paurusheya, the difference is that Paurusheya Shabda is meaningful, articulate, sound, Aptavakya in Sanskrit called, articulate, intelligible sound, spoken or written by Apta Purusha, trustworthy person who is an authority on the matter in question. Okay, so I just say, you ask mother, who is the father? So this is Paurusheya Shabda. But Apaurusheya Shabda really refers in ultimate sense to reveal knowledge that concerns the transcendental reality. And that has come from reliable authority free from 4 human defects. Actually, Apaurusheya Shabda refers to Vedas, transcendental sound vibration, eternal sound vibration, which comes from God. Here, the Rig Veda itself describes the Vedas as eternal and Apaurusheya. Vacha Virupanitya. That Vedas are sound, Vedic sound, is eternal, is not created by anybody. O Lord, you have revealed the Vedas first, and from Shiva onward, innumerable rishis have been their reciters and devotees, but none of them is their author. Now you see how Vedas works. They are eternally there. There is in ether transcendental sound vibration Vedas available. Now those who can tune in, just like on radio, you tune in, you hear on this frequency you can hear the news. Those who are pure rishis, they can receive Vedic mantras. And they can pass it on in disciplic succession to us. But none of them is author. You will see, Veda Vyas divided the Vedas. The Vedas were existing. At the end of Dwapara Yuga, so it's called Dvaipayana Vyas. Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasadeva. He sorted out the Vedas so people in Kali Yuga have a little more access to it, kind of organized them. And then they were written down in the books. And then he given to different disciples later on, you will see. To different disciples to one he given Rig Veda, to another Sama Veda, to another Atharva Veda, to another Yajur Veda, and they went on expanding them. How? By power of purity, by tapasya, by their transcendental eye and ears. They hear the Vedic mantras and then went on expanding, revealing it. But none of them is the author. Nowhere in Veda is say that Parashara Muni wrote this Veda. No, he spoke it. It was revealed to him. Say, for example, Valmiki. No? It is a famous story. He was a hunter and that by blessing Narada Muni, he became pure, sincere. What happened to him? He sat in meditation, all Ramayana is revealed to him. Correct? And Ramayana is Smriti. We accept it. transcendental sound vibration. It was revealed to him. No? So same thing, different portions of Vedas are revealed to different rishis. But it's never written by anybody. This is the power of the Shabda Pramana. Here, Krishna speaks to Uddhava. Uddhava speaks. My dear Lord, in order to understand those things beyond direct experience, such as spiritual liberation or attainment of heaven, and other material enjoyments beyond our present capacity, and in general to understand the means and end of all things, the forefathers, demigods, and human beings must consult the Vedic literatures, which are your own laws, for these constitute the highest evidence and revelation. So you see, nobody can get knowledge of how this universe works, what is in heaven, what is in hell, what is punya, what is papa, what is the standard. Dharmam tu sakshat Bhagavan Pranitam. Bhagavan has given the laws, how it works, what is beyond the universe. And what to speak of Vaikunthas and of even demigods, they have to consult the Shastras. Here, Shastra is the eye of illumination for everyone, as it removes various doubts and reveals invisible objects. Therefore, one who lacks knowledge of Shastra is surely blind. Then you do not know how to act in life. You do not know what's the goal of life. You're blind. And blind men follow blind men. And the boat fell into ditch, That's the point. So, validity. The Shabda Brahma, transcendental sound vibration, reveals knowledge of subject which lies beyond our sense perception and inference. Simply we hear from authority. If a pure rishi, Vyasadeva, got revelation, he speaks out. We got the guidance, which is impossible for us to see, to hear, to perceive, to understand by logic or intelligence. It is simply revelation, and we can get knowledge of what is beyond our sense perception. Say, for example, even in material way, somebody just returned from Australia, our Krishna Kirtan. So I asked him, how is there? And he went on talking. And he described his garden, he describes the climate, he describes the people. And I get knowledge which I could not perceive from here. I just got knowledge. And he was there. So same thing. What is it? Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Tattvadarshis, they are seeing the truth, they know the truth, they are seeing the Lord. They can tell us. Philosophy is a Greek word, said philosophia, means the lovers of the truth. They are speculating about the truth. They are trying to figure out what is the truth. They love the truth. They want to know the truth. But darshanas in India is different. Seers of the truth. They give the knowledge. It's a big difference. No? The theosophical society, searching for God. Prabhupada, are you a theologian or you are a theosophist? Theologian means one who believes in God. Theos means God. One who accepts the God. Theosophist means searching for God. So Prabhupada said, you are searching for God. You are from Theosophy Society. You are searching for God. We are presenting. Krishna is God. Why don't you accept? You are searching for God. You are searching for something. And what you are searching for? I am searching for something to eat. I have. Here. Why don't you accept? No, I'm simply searching. So, meaningless, no? No? He put them in the corner. Why don't you accept? You are searching. And they all, you can see on video, all they don't want to surrender, you see. Simply they enjoy speculating life after life, Huh? So, these are validity. Everyone relies on such knowledge from Aptavakya in day-to-day life, even those who proudly declare that they have no faith in authority. But they accept authority. They accept authority. Mother, when will be lunch? 2:00. You believe her. It's so simple. It's just, you can't live life without believing anybody. I don't accept any authority. I don't accept God. I don't accept Vedas. Yeah, but you accept newspapers. You accept the police traffic. You accept so many authorities. You can't live. You can't live life. Everyone's mental and intellectual development depends on sound vibration. Now this is proven that the children, if you speak to them, and the more higher philosophy you speak, the more better, clearly you speak, even above their average age, you may say, they develop very high intellectually. We have a Mataji in America growing up the children, educating them. I don't know how many, some nine kids she took, and most of them, they got PhD in their 20s. And the secret of success, she said, I just studied from Bhagavatam. I teach them everything from Bhagavatam. I read Prabhupada's purports, we read together, we study, and then through that I teach them all about the world. And they were all above average intelligence. One was that Ravi Gupta, Radha Raman Prabhu now, no? Radhika Raman maybe. Huh? He got PhD in Sanskrit when he was 23, something like that, the youngest in the world. And then after that, his local professor of mathematics came from university and said, wow, you got in Sanskrit, and Sanskrit is pure logic. This is so systematic and mathematical language. Why don't you get PhD in mathematics? And in 2 years he did another PhD in mathematics. The old textbooks was Srimad Bhagavatam of Prabhupada, you know. Yeah. So when you speak to children, the clear, articulated, intelligible sounds, they develop. And you can see the many places, maybe sometimes happens like this, that children are lost in the forest. And they found them after 10 years or 15 years. We had a case in Europe that the girl was brought up by the wolves. Somehow or other they took her on her own. Baby was left in the forest and they brought it up. But 12 years nobody spoke to her. No intelligible, articulate sound came to her. And when the people met her, she was acting like a wolf. She just could use senses, sniffing and licking, you know. That was the only way of communication. And she couldn't understand the language. Mentally, her growth stopped. She could not be developed intellectually or mentally. Just like an animal. Why? Because there was no intelligible sound. There was no guidance from the intelligible source to her. Simply grown up like an animal. So this is very important. Don't think children, they won't understand, we'll just speak some baba, kaka, boo boo, something to them. Speak clear philosophy. They will pick up more than you can expect. You know, speak to them, preach to them, tell them, treat them like grown-ups, you know. Of course, when they do mess, then you treat them as the children. When they play, that's different. But when you teach them philosophy, straightforward, direct, and you will see how much they pick up. It's unbelievable, you know. Today, who is speaking any philosophy to anybody, you know? Philosophy is, I have to go for job, sorry. You know. Please read the book. Book? Reading book? Pff, I can't afford it, I have to work. And then you are an ass. That's all what you are, you know. You can't read the book. You work, you know. So, okay, so this, everyone's mental intellectual development depends on sound vibration. Most powerful tool for conveying knowledge from one person to another, especially if they are greatly separated by time and space, which is almost always the case in spiritual matters. No? How you learn about Vaikuntha. Okay, you tell me about Delhi, and I can verify it. I can travel to Delhi and see whether you told this is Connaught Place, this is Kailash, east of Kailash, this, that. I can go and verify. No, but you tell me to Vaikuntha, I can't go immediately. It'll take a little time. So, but we can get knowledge if authority is proper. Correct? And we all accept authorities. In life, we accept authorities. So far, we believed in scientists. But what kind of character they have? Stephen Hawking, who is invalid in wheelchair, I've heard, I have to verify this, but it seems like wife put case on him that he's cheating her. Drunkards, smokers, womanizers, thirsty after name and fame, after money, correct? And they are saying there is no God. And here we have Vedic authorities, all acharyas. Prabhupada said, we are not speaking whimsically. Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami, Nimbarkacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prabhupada. They all say God is there. And what is their character? Spotless, pure, no? Saintly people. They already left everything material. They don't want name, fame, they don't want money, they don't want to exploit you, they don't want to cheat you. And they are following their gurus, previous. They didn't speculate anything new, they didn't invent anything new. They're presenting as it is. These are the rishis. And they say God is there. Whom you will follow in life? You have to follow somebody. So far we are following scientists. Whatever science says, we accept. No? But they were exposed by acharyas. They were exposed. They do not know what is the cause of all creation, what is the source of life, what is life itself, combination of chemicals. So prove it. Prove it. Then you prove it if you can, if you make such a bold statements, But you prove God exists. But you prove God does not exist. No? You will have equal difficulty as me to prove to you. But I believe. I accept authority. Why? Because I see such a saintly person, such a pure person, such a detached person. Because just by seeing Prabhupada, our faith is born, built up. Just by seeing his photos, just by seeing how he speaks, just by seeing his books, just by seeing his life, how he lived life. That convinces me, God is there. How you know? Prabhupada is proof. Look at Krishna conscious person. You could see Krishna, everything is recorded. We are so fortunate. Ramanujacharya was 1,000 years ago, present here. Still there are thousands of followers, thousands of temples are existing, no? But Prabhupada was recently here. Every single word is recorded. This much Krishna given intelligence to his followers at that early time, very early, from early time they start recording. Can you imagine if they start recording 72 or something, you know how much treasure would be lost. From the first day, and you can see, 1968, when nothing, nobody was there, hardly 10 intoxicated followers, to the 77, you can see consistent speeches. Consistent. There's no that Prabhupada adopted preaching method 68, speaking something else, and 77 when he was successful and something else. If I put a class and I don't tell you the year, you will not figure out which year Prabhupada is speaking. You can't tell. Gita class, Chaitanya Charitamrita class is from 69. Probably full-fledged, no any introduction, slowly, later I will tell them this. Just full-fledged class. We here today, very impressive class. Consistent. It's completely transcendental. First canto he wrote in India before going to America. And you see, first canto purport or 10th canto purport, there's no difference. In first canto he is blasting all material, modern advancement, all rubbish, nonsense, this technology, blasting Ugra Karma like anything, Like if he was already there, if he already seen all this, No difference. You won't find any difference in purpose, whether first canto or 10th canto. Same consistency there. Why? Tattvadarshi. He's saying the truth. He speaks the truth. He's not influenced by any material, time, place, nothing. Nothing influences him. So I have to accept authority. We have to. You are following authority. I don't believe. You believe in science. There is article came in this Scientist magazine. Today scientists believe that. And then the story goes, but wait a minute, how did you start? Today scientists believe. Hey, scientists believe also. They can't prove it. They believe based on this and this fact. We believe, but they can't prove it. We believe. There are so many funny things. Okay, so here. Shabda is independent of other pramanas and overrule them. Shabda is independent of other pramanas. That your sense perception or your speculation, Shabda says, just overrule them, Any example? Say, in the Shastras give an example. Yeah, say for example, Prabhupada said that conch and the cow dung are pure. The bones and animals or all other animals are impure, but these are the pure one. Okay. And now you may study and prove it, that there are antiseptic elements in cow dung and then conch shell is not contaminated, like that. Or simply like this, you come to the dentist and you want to figure out which person you are in the queue. There's so many people sitting. But somebody is sitting with mother, somebody is sitting with friends, you don't know how long to wait. So what you do, you ask, which person I am? You are person number 10. Just overrules your sense perception, your speculation, just establish on the spot is you are the 10th person. Simple like that, for example. No limit in scope of present time. You see, problem is with pratyaksha, with sense perception, that works only now at present. You can't see something which happened in the past. You can't see something which will happen in the future. Correct? But the Shabda, no limit in scope of present time. Gita was spoken 5,000 years ago. It's valid for us. Because it's complete spiritual subject matter. Newspapers, every day you change. If I give you last year's newspaper, what you will do with it? Set on fire. That's all. No use, no? But Bhagavad Gita is spiritual. It's for all time, all place, all circumstances, no? And you can see in Bhagavatam also that the Bhagavatam doesn't follow some timeline, some chronological timeline, that this story is from Satya Yuga, then comes for first and second canto stories from Satya Yuga, then third and fourth canto stories from Treta Yuga, then fifth, sixth canto stories from Rapa, and then it doesn't follow like that. It's just showing the essential instructions from whatever time. Shukadev Maharaj was asked by Parikshit that after hearing description of hell, that Parikshit as a devotee, he was concerned, okay, I will be saved, I am devotee, but what about all the other people? How people will get saved? So Parikshit said, that Shukadev replied, that one should do prayashchita. And there was a little testing his disciple, this, that. And then he said, I will tell you the story, old story, how you can get saved. And then he narrates a Jamila story. The Bhagavatam was written 5,000 years ago, and he is telling in that, I'll tell you old story. How old is this? From where is this coming from? But the message is eternal. Message is not bound by present time, What happened millions of years ago, if we hear, we get benefit. It's valid for us. It's not like material information. You have Windows 7. Windows 7, you're living in the cave, Windows 7. Yeah? No meaning. What is the use of having it? But I hear story millions of years ago, and it's beneficial. No limit by time. And in the future, your grandfathers read Bhagavad Gita, we are reading it, your grandchildren will read Bhagavad Gita. It's still valid. Nobody will read newspapers from today. Nobody. No one. No one exists. Nobody would be interested. Saves time. Instead of speculating, one day I was, trying to do something, in Photoshop, this one, that one, this one, sweating. Almost I hit computer. And then Rasi came. Do like this. 2 buttons he pressed. 2.5 hours I wasted, And he said, you could ask me. You see, simple like this. Saves time. It's practical. Instead of speculating, how I know which religion is best? Accept the authority. How I know? By my own. I have to figure out my own. There's Western people, there's very much their cause. Okay, very nice class, very nice philosophy, nice prasadam, oh, that's very nice. But I have my own understanding. I have my own path. And they speculate, they don't want to submit. They waste their time. Only from Vedas, Shabda, we get knowledge about Abhideya. Only from Vedas we get the knowledge how to surrender to God, how to serve God, how to control mind, how to control senses, how to see the soul, how to get purified, how to get free from papam, how to accumulate punya. Abhideya, the process of surrendering to God, worshipping Lord, serving the Lord, that's only in Vedas. This is not possible. This is not possible to... Animals never achieve spiritual realization from the knowledge gained by their pramanas, means pratyaksha and anuman. They don't get any spiritual realization. In animal kingdom, there is no religion. There is pratyaksha, there is anuman. Dog also looking at you, shaking his tail, give something. And if you raise hand, he reasons, oh, better I go now. Logic is there, pratyaksha is there, but no spiritual knowledge whatsoever. Animal. No, ignorance. Why? There is no transcendental sound vibration regarding God and religion. They have no spiritual realization. Unless blessed by devotees as Shivananda Sena's dog. That is different. That is Kripa Siddhi. Okay. If we want to know that object, which transcends everything, and is the shelter of everything, and whose nature no person can conceive or imagine, the only Vedas can be source of our knowledge. This is a fact. This is reality. This is what it is. This is, if you want to know Krishna, who is beyond the sense perception, Bhagavantam Adokshajam, there is no other way than hearing from the Vedas. Okay, here Prabhupada says, in spite of his being unlimited, he has subjected himself to being known from the authoritative scriptures like Vedic literatures. And it is said, Shabda Mula Tvat, Shrutestu Shabda Mula Tvat. He can be known through the Shabda Brahma of Vedic literature. So now, this is the challenge, answer to the challenge by atheists and scientists, that how, now you write a book and is material sound. How can God be known through some writings? No. God subjected himself. He himself decided, and did it. Subjected himself to be known through the Vedic literatures. He sent the Vedas. He said, this is how I will be known to you. You read the Vedas. He said, therefore it is done. It's not possible to put God in some description of some mundane these words. But Lord said, these are not mundane words. I am given the Vedas. And he has subjected himself, although he is unlimited. He said, I can be known. There are many philosophers in the West who speculate. We are so tiny and so limited. Mind is limited, intellect is limited, sense perception is limited. How we can know the unlimited? It is not possible to know. But we know in the Vedas, Tesham eva nukampartam aham ajnana jamtava na shamyatma bhavastu jnana deepena bhasvada. I give the knowledge, I reveal myself. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. I give knowledge how to come to me. They forgot on that factor. The Lord is compassionate. Though we cannot find out by speculation, He can reveal Himself. No? So this is the secret. According to Vedanta Sutra, Shastra Yoni Tvat, the Supreme Lord is the author of all revealed scriptures, and all revealed scriptures are for knowing the Supreme Lord. Vedas means knowledge that leads to the Lord. This is called Veda. Veda means knowledge. What knowledge? Knowledge that leads to the Lord. Okay, this is what Prabhupada said. So here, Aparushaya Shabda. The absolute truth makes himself known by Shabda Pramana. Therefore it is called Aparushaya. Revealed knowledge from a superhuman source. It's not written by Vyasadeva. It's just sorted out. It's revealed by him. Maybe noted down, written down, but it existed. It existed, sound vibration existed eternally. Originated with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is received in the cyclic succession from bona fide Guru. Avaroha Pantha. Descending process. Aroha Pantha. Ascending process. So by our own realization, by own endeavor, Srila Prabhupada said, we can realize we are not this body. We are spirit soul. We can enter into Brahman realization. But to enter Vaikuntha planets, that is not possible. Avaroha Pantha, descending process, has to be applied. Aparushaya Shabda is therefore the perfect pramana because it is free from the four defects. Because it's coming from the Lord and is transferred by the pure devotees, by the self-realized souls. And it is preserved like this. Here Prabhupada said, Brahma is undoubtedly the speaker of Vedic knowledge because from four mouths of Brahma, four Vedas came out. But actually, he was inspired by Lord to receive such transcendental knowledge. Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kavaye. As directly descended from the Lord. The Vedas are therefore called Aparushaya, or not imparted by any created being. Before the creation, the Lord was there. Narayana Parovyakta. And therefore, the words spoken by Lord are vibrations of transcendental sound. So you see, nobody claims to be author speaker. It's revealed and they just transmit the message through the disciplic succession. So, how do we know that? How do we know the truth? Vedas are self-evident because there is no higher source above them to approve, confirm their validity. That where is the proof that Vedas are right? And then you say, there is another book which proves the Vedas are right. Then what is the proof of that book? That that book is right. So you go on unlimitedly like this and you will never prove anything. Veda says, we are Aparushaya. Already we given that shloka from Rig Veda, no? That Vedas exist eternally. They are eternal sound vibration coming from the Lord. Vedas are self-evident. There is no any higher authority to prove Vedas are true. By following Vedic standards of self-control, body and mind control, which we receive from a parampara guru, one becomes peaceful, clear-headed, fit to understand the highest purpose of life. Where is the proof? Proof is if you follow Vedas, you get result. This is the proof. This is scientific. Therefore, Prabhupada say, this is scientific process. We don't care what background you are coming from. Muslim, Christian, Hindu, whatever you want to be, or atheist or whatever you are. You follow the process. You chant, associate with devotee, take only Krishna Prasadam, live in the temple with us, and you will see, you will have realization of God. You will see the progress. Pratyaksha dharmyam. Directly your experience process. This is the proof. The scientists say, where is the proof? But you follow my method. You have to follow my methodology, which is described in Vedas. You can't follow your methodology. You want to see God by microscope, but God is not seen by microscope. God is seen by japascope. You know, this is the tool. You can't do it by microscope. It doesn't work. You know, you want to do chemistry experiment. You use these test tubes and the burners and all the stuff. You know, but how you prove mathematical formula in the chemical laboratory? Huh? C square equal A square plus B square. I give you 10,000 approvates, you're not going to prove it. You have to use mathematical methodology for mathematics. You have to use chemical methodology for chemistry. You have to use spiritual methodology for spirit. But they want on their terms. They want to sit in laboratory and say, where is your God? Nalika yantras. Where is your God? I don't see God. You don't see, because with eyes you can't see Him. But Prabhupada says, come, Om Agyanati Mirandasya Gananjana Shalak Chakshurun Militamena, I'll operate. I will remove cataract. I will say cataract. I'll operate your eyes, Prabhupada said. Then you will see. So this is the system. Okay. By authority of great saintly person who achieve perfection by following Vedas, we've seen it works. Krishna says, Bahavo Jnana Tapasa Putamad Bhava Magata. So many in the past, Vita, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha, Manmaya, Mam, Upashita, they given up. Raga, attachment, Bhaya, fear, Krodha, anger. They given up this. Bahavo, many. Jnana Tapasa, by knowledge, by austerity. Putamad Bhava Magata, Mad Bhavam, my nature, my transcendental nature they achieved. Or you may say, Mad Bhava, affection for me. No? So we have experience, we have seen, it works. So many saintly persons, they follow, they achieve perfection. We've seen the Prabhupada living example. We see his disciples now, how they are living life, how they are Krishna conscious. We have a proof. We are not following blindly. We see result. Compared to other scriptures, Vedas have more details, variety, but they remain consistent. Vedas have much more details. Look at the Quran. It says, what is it? Don't kill female children. Don't have sex with your mother. I mean, to whom he was preaching, very simple people, no? But look at Gita. You're not his body. There is higher purpose on life. Traigunya Vishayaveda. Traigunya Vishayaveda. Nisthaya Guno Bhavarjuna. Nirdvando, Nitya Sattvastu, Niryoga Kshema Atvan. Arjuna, you go above these modes. Go above 3 modes of material nature. Go to the transcendental platform. You see, where is Gita compared to other scriptures? What did the Quran says about the Lord's form, Lord's abode, Lord's pastimes, Lord's qualities? Nama, Guna, Rupa, Lila. Okay, Nama is there, some names of God are given. But other things are not given. Bible, what the Bible says about form of the Lord? Moses seen white hand and curly hair of the God. That's all. All Bible, big book like this, doesn't even say how God looks like. They painted, Michelangelo painted God with beard, old man sitting on the cloud with beard. Nava Yovanam, they don't know God is eternally young. So you see how much, details we have in Vedas is incredible. From Vedas, all departments of knowledge derived, mundane and spiritual. Mathematics, physics, geography, geometry, everything came from Vedas ultimately. And everywhere there is a link. Now that's another full seminar how to show that and prove that. Even the demigods need the help of Vedas to understand absolute truth. By absence of proof that Vedas have material origin, we accept that Vedas have spiritual origin. This is another logical concerned. Okay, so Prabhupada says like this. The Lord wants all living entities who are His part and parcels to live with Him in transcendental world, and for enlightening conditioned soul in the material world. All the Vedas and the revealed scriptures are there, expressly to recall the conditioned soul back home, back to Godhead. This is the purpose of Vedas. This is why Vedas are given, Bhagavan is given. Here, the four Vedas, namely Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda, are all emanations from the breathing of the great personality of Godhead, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Now Vedas themselves speaks. What is our origin? Asya Mahato Bhutasya Nishvasitam Etadyad Rig Vedo Yajur Vedaha Sama Vedo Atharvangirasa. That four Vedas, simply the emanation from breathing of great personality of Godhead. So Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says this. Here, Yamaduta says, Veda pranihito dharmo hyadharmas tad viparyaha Vedo narayana sakshat swayambhur iti shushrama. The Yamaduta's reply, that which is prescribed in Vedas constitutes dharma, the religious principles, and the opposite of that is irreligion. The Vedas are directly the Supreme Personality Godhead Narayana and are self-born. This we have heard from Yamaraj. So here, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna says, the Supreme Personality Godhead said, by the influence of time, the transcendental sound of Vedic knowledge was lost at the time of annihilation. Therefore, when the subsequent creation took place, I spoke the Vedic knowledge to Brahma myself, because I myself am the religious principle enunciated in the Vedas. Now Krishna speaks that I spoke the Vedas again to Brahma when there was a need. I myself, I'm the religious principle which is described in Vedas, which is pointed up in the Vedas, which is actually aimed by the Vedas. No? It's very clear here. Okay, here, Lord Brahma spoke this Vedic knowledge to his eldest son, Manu, and the 7 great sages headed by Bhrigu Muni then accepted the same knowledge from Manu. So now, how the Vedas came? Krishna spoke to Brahma, and then Brahma spoke to his followers, and then goes to the Manu, like that. Then, from the forefathers headed by Bhrigu Muni and other sons of Brahma, appeared many children and descendants, who assumed different forms as demigods, demons, human beings, guhyakas, siddhas, gandharvas, vidyadharas, charanas, kindevas, kinnaras, nagas, kimpurushas, and so on. All of the many universal species, along with their respective leaders, appear with the different natures and desires generated from the 3 modes of material nature. Therefore, because of the different characteristics of the living entities within the universe, there are great many Vedic rituals, mantras, and rewards. Now, why Vedas are so big and why they are so different? For different conditioned soul, there is given different medicine how to come out. For Brahmanas, these are the instruction. For Kshatriyas, these are the instruction. For demigods, these are the instruction. For Guhyas, these are the instruction. And they, by following that, they can go. Just like all of us have different medicine. No? We come according to our disease, doctor will give medicine. So same thing, Vedas, varieties are there because of varieties of conditioned souls. Purpose is to deliver them. That is the idea. The Vedas divided into 3 divisions ultimately reveal the living entity as pure spirit soul. The Vedic seers and mantras, however, deal in esoteric terms, and I am also pleased by such confidential description. Paroksham mamacha priyam. Krishna says that I am pleased that I am concealing the Vedas, that I am not directly exposing the Vedas. Why is it so? Because Jiva comes from spiritual world to material world to enjoy. They don't want to God. No? And God is hiding himself. Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samanvrita. So that they can fulfill their desire, but still he gives the Vedic knowledge. It's a sugar-coated medicine, Prabhupada says. And then by following this different things, Karma Kanda portion of Vedas offer so many material benefits. So Jiva slowly gets purified and returns home back to Godhead without God be imposing himself force or just taking out independence of the Jiva. So this is the secret of this. Srila Prabhupada says, you see here the shloka says there are three departments, no? Vedas divided into three divisions. Trikanda, Veda, Brahmatma, Vishayas, Trikanda, Vishaya Ime. So these three khandas, what are these three khandas? Prabhupada says, in three departments of human knowledge disseminated by the Vedas, namely fruity work, Karma Kanda, transcendental knowledge, Jnana Kanda, and devotional service, Upasana Kanda. Devashi Narad inherited from his father Brahma devotional service. Daksha inherited from his father fruity work. And Sanak, Sanatan, etc. inherited from their father information about Jnana Kanda or transcendental knowledge. So here Prabhupada gives in the Bhagavatam purport these three khandas, three divisions of Vedas. Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda. We'll be discussing a little more later about this. The Vipras are those who are expert in Karma Kanda or fruitive activities, guiding society towards fulfilling material necessities of life. Whereas Brahmanas are expert in spiritual knowledge of transcendence. This department of knowledge is called Jnana Kanda. And above this, there is Upasana Kanda. The culmination of Upasana Kanda is devotional service of the Lord, Vishnu. And when the Brahmanas achieve perfection, they are called Vaishnavas. So now for these three divisions, Prabhupada says, Vipras, Brahmanas, Vaishnavas. They get these different divisions. So, okay. Now I'll stop here because now we will come into divisions of Vedas, this that will continue tomorrow. Do you have any questions on this subject matter today? Yes, Prabhupada.
Maybe relating also to yesterday, but I think it's
yes.
today. So Aparoksha, we wrote that maximum we can get, we are not the body.
Yeah, we are spirit soul, yeah.
So then Adokshaja and Aprakrita, could you tell something?
Yeah, Prabhupada said there are 5 levels of knowledge. From Pratyaksha Pramana, from sense perception, we get Pratyaksha Jnana, knowledge. That knowledge is limited. Remember, Prabhupada said 10th class knowledge. Because senses are limited, senses are cheating you. You can see in the Nyaya Sutra discussions that conditions of Pratyaksha Jnana. If object is too far, you can't see it. It's blur. You can't get clear knowledge. You know he is there, but you don't know exactly who is there. Somebody is coming. Is that him or not? You can't see. If object is too close, again you can't see it. No? Then, if object is between many other objects, you can't recognize which one is which one. Like if you ask me that I was in Singapore for a short time, few months, and then they told me that go and find Mr. Kim. I said, where is he? Just on the first floor. I said, okay, Mr. Kim, first floor. Kim means Chinese, so easy to find Chinese in India. But when you are in China, Singapore is Chinese country. I came in room, all Kims to me, all Chinese, how do I know, which one is which one? So then they discuss this, how senses are limited, how you have perception and so many things. So Pratyaksha Jnana is the lowest. Second one comes Paroksha. Paroksha refers to twofold. If it refers to material knowledge, refers to Para-Aksha, learning from the books or authorities who base their knowledge on Pratyaksha Jnana. Like scientists study Einstein and Newton, I told, or any other before. But if it refers to spiritual, Paroksha means learning from authorities, from Guru Parampara for us. Then comes Aparoksha. Then you think what you've learned, try to apply in life, realizing this knowledge. And that maximum in material life, in spiritual life, maximum on your own endeavor, Avaroha Panta. Maximum you can realize, I'm not this body, I'm spirit, soul, and you can achieve Brahman. Then comes Adokshaja. Adokshaja, Srila Prabhupada said, this is knowledge of Lord's Vaikuntha planets, or spiritual world. Knowledge, he says, in one way, the knowledge is revealed about the spiritual existence. And then above that, Aprakrita. The Prakrita material, Aprakrita, spiritual world of Krishna, his name, form, pastimes, qualities, everything is revealed. Of course, form is also known in Adokshaja level. But here in the aprakrita really, it's not that you are anymore having only transcendental knowledge about Vaikuntha plans and Vaikuntha Leelas, but actually now in aprakrita you are part of that. You are actually experiencing, you have your spiritual body and you enter into that spiritual realm. It's perceivable, it's revealed to you. So this is aprakrita. So Srila Prabhupada said that we have to come to that platform of aprakrita stage. It will take some time, but we have to come. Otherwise Krishna will be unknown. He is aprakrita. Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.